Hi, I'm Liz. I go by Stitch by Liz with an underscore over on Instagram, and this is Flosstube number 4. Today is Sunday the 13th of February. I do apologise if you can hear some noise. It is incredibly windy today, and we live on a main road, and for some reason it's just really loud every time it's windy. Today I have just an update. I've actually got some of my grandmother's works to share as well. And yeah, if you're new, welcome. If you're returning, welcome back. If you have come from someone, please let me know because I would like to thank them. I want to give a massive thank you to Stitch with Beth. She shouted me out in her video, and she will be doing the mini evolutions that I'm doing as well, and I'm so excited to see her progress. So I suppose let's just jump right into life updates. I got my booster on Friday, so 2 days ago. I feel a little bit like trash. I have a little bit of a fever at the moment. I'm very hot, so this will be an interesting filming session. Had a specialist appointment last week for my lung doctor and to get an update on a CT scan I had about a tumour that I have. And surprisingly, the tumour has completely disappeared. Shocked both me and the doctor. But it's, absolutely fantastic news. My, lung function is within normal limits, like just, which is really good. I'm really happy about that, given that the past 2 years breathing has been incredibly difficult. And I just want to give a massive thank you to everybody that reached out to me on Instagram after the story I put up about my mental health. It has been pretty bad, but I want to give a massive thank you to Chloe. We had a really good chat after I put up the post, and I really appreciate it. And I really like what Athena said. Just remember, we don't live here. We're just visiting. And I just thought that was amazing. So thank you to both of them. That's all I've got for life updates, I suppose. I'll jump into my finishes, or my fully finishes. I have 3. I managed to go to my local craft store and Kmart and I managed to get some frames. The first one I finished is a vintage travel poster from Country Magic Stitch, and it is Naboo, and it is just fully framed in a black frame. I plan on doing all of the Star Wars series, and this will be a gallery wall on the lower part of our staircase downstairs. There's a tiny section of wall that should fit all of the Star Wars one, and I just laced it across the back. Nothing fancy. Should have put that. The next one I finished, and this one I need to actually pull out and fix because it's for some reason turned very wrinkly, even though it wasn't when I put it in. Is Always. This is also by Country Magic Stitch, and this will actually be going on the wall behind me at some point. It's not laced or anything. It actually fits fairly perfectly in the frame. I just need to pull it out and give it a solid iron, and because I'm not sure why the creases are back. A little bit frustrating. And then the last one I finished is a quote from the A Court of Thorns and Roses series, and this is by Taylor and Cromwell. And again, just in a black frame, white matte, and this is going to go on the wall behind me as well. Last weekend I went to my grandmother's for her birthday. She'd actually put aside a few bits and pieces that she had stitched or family members had stitched or embroidered and gifted to me. So she gave them to me last weekend, and I thought I'd share a couple of my favourites with you guys. The first is a table runner. Now, whether or not I actually put this on my table is a different story, but this whole thing, this is half of it, is cross-stitched. Like, the detail is just insane, and these colours, they're coming up brighter than they actually are. But the whole thing is all cross stitch, no back stitch. And then there's these hand crocheted tassels and a little section on the bottom. And it's just incredible. It is I think it's 2/2. But it's not like your regular linen. This is the back of it, but it's sort of like a needlepoint canvas. But it just absolutely fascinated me, and my grandma actually stitched this herself. The next piece is from, I think she said it was her sister-in-law did it. And it is so incredibly delicate. I'm not sure you're going to be able to see that properly, but it's just a variegated thread on this, you know, high count sort of, it's like a lacy texture. And there is a red one that goes with this as well, but the red one isn't a variegated thread. It's just this diamond pattern. It's not cross stitched, it's just sort of like back stitch woven. I really love that. She gave that to me as well. The next bits and pieces are embroidered, and this is, you know, stuff my grandma did. I saw this one for the first time a couple of years ago, and she put it aside for me, and this is also a table runner. I'll just show you half of it. It is like incredible, and I can't embroider at all, but it's just like the satin stitches are just perfect. I really like that one. Another one she did is folded in half. It's another table runner, but it's these pink flowers, also embroidered. And then she actually made this lace with like a metallic thread, and she actually made it herself to put on the end. This is a table runner, but it also comes with like two little side table doilies that are embroidered the same way. And the last thing I chose to show is another table runner, and it's on this super fine white sort of linen. And it's just these pink and red flowers, and this one also has two matching side table pieces. Sorry for the random cut there. We're still getting used to the camera, and for some reason shooting in 4K it stops filming after 5 minutes, even though my husband changed the settings. He is not a happy man currently. He's glaring at the camera from behind the camera, so it's a little bit funny. Yeah, he's shaking his head. Before it cut me off, I was just finishing up that last little piece my grandma did. I just showed you that, and I said I'd jump into whips, so let's jump into whips. I have a few. If I do look down, it's because I've got some notes. The first one up is the Cross Stitch Studio Mystery Sal. It's stitched 2/110 on 22 count. I have finished 2 releases. The third one came out. I've currently put this on hold, and I'm not sure if I'm actually going to finish it, because I think it's just a sea creature, and I was sort of hoping for like an under the sea sort of landscape. I don't think there's a landscape under the sea, but whatever. This is what I've done. It's the 2 releases so far. The next release was page 2 up the top. This bottom section was absolute confetti central, and wasn't a very good thing. Wasn't a very good time stitching it. But yeah, I think I might UFO this depending on the next release, which should be in the next couple of days. Apparently we'll know by this page here being released. We'll know what it is. I think it'll be a seahorse. But yeah, I'm not sure I'm going to finish it. I've got other full coverage that I want to finish. Next up, I worked on Mini Santa Nutcracker. This was one of my WIPGO goals that was called. It was number 17, I think, and it was for 5 days. So far I've done one as a prompt for Stitch the Winter Olympics. I can't remember how much I did, and I didn't write it down, but this is on 18 count, 2/1 full cross. But I really like the detail so far. This needs to get another 4 days, and this WIPGO goal will be complete for this month. Yeah, I'm actually really enjoying it. I'm sort of excited to get out of the top band of his hat and sort of into his face. Next up, I worked on Foolish Mortal by the Witchy Stitcher. And this is on an 18 count that I hand dyed myself. And this is also 2/1 full cross. The white is actually DMC glow in the dark white. I did try to find the sulky in my local craft store, but they didn't have it in stock, so I had the DMC at home, so I just used that. I put in 852 stitches on this one for the day that I worked on it. I love how this is turning out, and this is on WIPGO for a finish for when it gets cold as well, and it shouldn't take too long to finish. Next up is the Cryptids Stitch Along. This is on an 18 count tea dye that I did myself. It's 2/1. I'm not finished. As you can see, the Sal has finished. I'm just not finished. I worked on finishing the word cryptids, and then doing part of the bottom border. I've got effectively half of it to go. This is also 2/1 on 18 count, and I did 303 stitches, but this I think is coming out for another prompt for Stitch the Winter Olympics as well. I think there's a prompt for stitch on something with a border, and it's the only thing that I have with a border. Next up, I worked on Spider-Man, and this was called for WIPGO for this month. This is my number 5, and it was for a page finish, and I finished the page. I did 433 stitches to finish the page and add in the bright orange. And this is also on 18 count, 2/1. And I am so happy with the way that the detail looks. It's incredible. Now this page is pretty much orange and white. It's just the sunset, and I think the top of Spider-Man's head might be down here. This is also on my WIPGO board for another month, and that is also for a page finish. So hopefully this second page should stitch up fairly quickly. The next thing I worked on was Autumn in Stars Hollow. I'm stitching these separately. They, you can stitch them all together when they're released. I want to get this done before the retreat for summer in Stars Hollow. I will be attending that. I did this, I put this in twice for the Stitch the Winter Olympics challenge, and I did 1,269 stitches, and I absolutely love the way this is turning out. It's so much fun to stitch. When I was working on it, I didn't want to put it down, but it didn't fit the prompts for the next couple of days. I want to say a massive thank you to Leanne and Morgan and everybody else that messaged me about the overdyed threads and whether or not I should wash my grid off after I've done the DMC and then do the overdyes. And that's what I'll be doing because I don't want them to run. Next up, I worked on Sorcerer Mickey. This was for the prompt stitch on something with the colour of the Olympic rings, and I chose blue because I want to get some progress on this. I did 736 stitches in 3 shades of blue. This is also on 18 count 2/1 full cross, and I'm on my second row of pages, so I really want to get this finished sooner rather than later. Most of the page that I'm working on will be blue, but you can actually see, I just knocked my Lowry. You can actually see where his hat, Sorcerer Mickey's hat, is going to be, and I'm really excited for it to show up. I also use this for stitch on something round, because Mickey's corner will actually, Mickey's ear will be in the corner down here. Words. Sorry. Next up, I worked on my sister's cat piece, Max. I was actually on a video call with both of my sisters, and I was plugging away at the confetti hole that is this piece, and they said for me to stitch his eye because they wanted to see what it looked like. This eye is not big. It took me 50 minutes just for the eye, and that's insane, and it's really creepy that it's just a standalone eye now. So when I store it, I actually fold it over itself so it doesn't look like it's watching me, because that's creepy. That's also on 18 count 2/1. I then worked on mini night colours by Artisy. Artwork is Leonid Afromov. Excuse my parked thread. I have done, how many stitches did I do? A whole 138. In here is 939, 823 and 820, and it literally looks like it's just black. You're not even going to be able to tell, but I was looking at the chart yesterday in Pattern Keeper, just clicking the different DMC thread numbers to figure out when I'm going to get to some colour, and pretty much this whole bit is mostly blue. There's a little bit of green in there, but it is what it is. It's fun to work on. I just didn't get a chance to properly sit down and do it. That was set for Thursday and yesterday. Yesterday I had my sisters over, so I didn't really get a chance to work on it much, and then I sewed up 13 project bags, and then the Thursday was just flat out at work, so I didn't get a chance to work on it. And the last whip I worked on is the Collectors by Autumn Lane Stitchery, and I did 105 stitches. Yeah, 105 stitches, and this is a 18 count that I dyed myself, and it's completely washed out. It's a lot darker and sort of a little bit bluer than what it's showing up, and I just did 100 stitches in this section here. And yeah, that's all the whips that I did. Okay, now that whips are done, I thought I'd jump into my haul. I bought a lot of fabric to make a lot of project bags. I'm not going to show you all of them because there's 19 that I made all up. I just picked out 3. So I made one using this Christmas gnome fabric. There is glitter on this as well. And the inside is just green with a green zip and, you know, just the vinyl. Another one I made is this Honeydukes one. I love this fabric. This fabric is amazing. And I paired that with a teal inside and a teal zip. It's showing up as blue on the camera, which is really annoying, but it is a teal colour. Another one I made is this maroon Hogwarts crest one, and I put in the glare, the Dumbledore's Army signature fabric that I found. This is the my most favourite one I've made. I love this. This one's incredible. I did make a whole bunch of other ones. Some are fandom, some aren't, but I'm not going to show them because there's just entirely too many to show. I also got a couple of 8x8 Q-snaps, just the smaller bits that I want to work on. Sorry for the crinkles. I also got in my Gentle Arts threads that I ordered. One is for the Fox chart, one is for the Swan chart, and one is for Autumn in Stars Hollow. The blue is for the Autumn in Stars Hollow. And the last little bits I bought were just 3 new embroidery scissors. So that way the stuff that I'm working on that's sort of monochrome, I can actually just chuck a pair of these in there with, you know, like the 310 or the 939 that I'm working on. And it's just in one thing. So if I want to work on it downstairs, I just need to take the project bag with me instead of trying to carry everything downstairs in my hands. So that's all I've got for today. Thank you so much for watching. If you like this video, like, comment, subscribe, do all the fancy things. Like I said, if you've come from someone, please let me know. I do want to thank them. Go give me a follow on Instagram. I'm fairly active over there. If you want to chat, shoot me a DM. I'm more than happy to chat to everyone. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you hopefully in a couple of weeks. Bye. That wasn't filming.
What do you mean?
The red light just came on.